Hello, 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 and good evening, crafty friends. This is Caron Bailey, your ATX Stampin' Lady. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm here this evening to craft with you. So I'm here to invite you into the craft room, guys. Sorry, guys, I'm a little disoriented. I do apologize. Um, so I'm getting ready for got so much to share with you guys. Oh, let's just start there. So much to share. I have on my hot little hands right here. This is the new annual catalog that's coming out in May. Of course, if you went to On Stage, which I did, On Stage was last weekend, you were able to put your hands on the actual catalog. If you did not go to On Stage, you as a demonstrator are able to take a look at the PDF version of this catalog. I can't show you the inside of the catalog. It's against Stampin' Up! Rules. We can only do so on I can show you the front and the back. I can't show you with you the inside. Just rules are the way they are. As my pre-order starts to come in, you guys, I am going to do an unboxing with you, talk you through what I have, what I ordered. So stay tuned for that, and you'll see what's happening with that. But tonight we are here for a little bit of fun, a little bit of crafting. Normally Thursdays are case the catalog. I am going to be not casing, I'm going to be using a product from one of our online exclusive. It's one of our newer products, and it is the Twisted in Time. Oh, there's a little glare there. Can y'all see better? Maybe if I turn it lower. I think I can see, right? Somebody told me put a little bit of vellum over that, maybe I could see it, but still a bit of a glare. Anyway, and this seems crooked to me. I don't know why. Give me a second. No, no, no. It seems crooked to me. Hold on, y'all. Let me do a little bit of adjusting here. Make sure that's straight. That would be straight. Anyway, my camera's not staying straight, so bear with me, you guys, and put up with me. So, guys, I'm making these cards for you this evening, featuring the Twisted in Time, and it is a bundle. It's a stamp and die bundle, photopolymer stamp set. You can only find it in our online store. It's not in any of our catalogs. And I'm going to be making these cards, note cards. I don't normally make note cards, but I'm making some note cards. And this is for the Stampin' with Friends blog. So if you are going to be checking out that blog is going to go live. That blog post is going to go live this Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So in that blog post, you will find the measurements of everything that I'm using to create these cards. My goal tonight is to create 4 cards because I'm making a set, a note card set, and then I'm going to do another video, not tonight, to create a folder or a holder for the note cards, so that when I gift them, they go in a coordinating note card holder. All right, so there's that. So I am working with the Twisted in Time bundle. Stampin' Up! Sells note cards, and our note cards are 7 by 10, 10 inches by 7. When it's folded, it's a 3.5 by 5.5, 3.5 by 5 note card. Now, and we used to have them in Very Vanilla and Whisper White. We only Whisper White, Basic White. We have them in white. I could not find them in Very Vanilla. So before I get started on this, I want to share with you how you can create your own card bases, so you can use it in whatever color family you wanted to create them as your card base. All right, so again, our card bases are 3.5 by, 5 by 3.5. So in order to get a 5 by 3.5, we need a card base that we're going to start with that is 7 by 10. Guys, that's basic math, because you are going to fold your base in half, so therefore you want to go ahead and make sure your measurements, 3.5 is half of 7, 5 is half of 10. So that's how you get your card base. So I'm just going to cut right now, so I have a piece of cardstock that is 7, and I'm using that 7 on the 8.5 side, because that just makes sense. And then I'm going to turn it on the 11 inch and cut off the 11 inch side and cut off 1 inch to get my 7 by 10 inch card base. All right, so now once we've done that, you have two options. I'm going to, because you want it to be on the 5, so I'm going to score at 3.5, and you can do either one. And I'm going to score it this way. I like to score once to get 2 card bases, right? So I'm going to score it, I hope that's right. And then I'm going to cut it at 5. Okay? Oh, my blades need to be replenished. Look at that. They shredded. Hold on, let me clean that out while I'm here, because it'll drive me nuts. Yeah, my paper shredded a lot. All right, so when we do that, we will now have 2 card bases that are 7 by 10, and when they're folded, they are 3.5 by 5. So that's how quickly you can create card bases in whatever color palette that you want to create note cards. Because Stampin' Up, we only have them in the basic white colorway at this time. This was basic beige. All right. Because we are definitely going to use, I'm going to use the basic white. So I tried to do a little bit of pre-cutting, and I'm not sure that it's going to work on what's going on here. So my thought was I was going to do this is 2.5 by 4, and then I had some matte layers that were 1/4 inch bigger, that would be 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. That was my thought when I was designing my card base, my card. However, when I looked at the stamp set, it's a little big. So I'm going to try to see if I can get my design to work on it. If not, we'll just have to reorganize. It's as simple as that, yes? And so what I'm going to do also is I'm going to bring out my stamp positioning tool right off the bat. This is going to be too big, but there's nothing wrong with that as a design, right? So let me grab my stamp positioning tool, because we're just going to repeat stamp. What happened to my thing here? Okay. I'm going to lay this on the 4 inch. And what I'm going to do is just lay this out so I can see in my mind where I want things to be. Now there's 4 different sentiments in this stamp set, and I want to use all 4 of them. Why not, right? So if we have this thank you right here, right? Our tree is going to can be, and it's all about aligning things, right? Making sure they lay out right and I'm going to try it with this. Okay. Now, normally I would use brown for my tree, and I still am going to use brown, but I'm going to use, I think that's copper clay. That's the kind of brown that I'm looking. Either copper clay or pecan pie. That could be another option. But before I do any of that, this is going to work, I think, the width of it. It'll just be, I'm going to try it. All we can do is try things, right? So, first thing I'm going to do is stamp all of my sentiments. Okay. They get a little sticky, the photopolymer. Or, let's put it at the top. I think the bottom, this is the part of designing, right? Okay. I think that'll work right there. I lay this at the 4. 4 1/4. Remember that. Now, you don't have to remember anything because I can use, if I could find it, the magnet. Where's the bar magnet for this? Here we go. Okay. All right, so that's aligned properly in here. Let's do our anti-static one more time. And I am going to stamp with, I think I want to keep everything in the brown family. Oh, no, let's use this green. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the little things. My mom just asked me to make her a set of cards for an event she's doing. I think she said it was next month, so I think some note cards might be a good little thing to do. So I might just give her these as an option. Okay, so that's one. I'm gonna try to stamp out. I'm gonna stamp out all of my sentiments, you guys, and then I'm looking for my stamp cleaner. Here we go. Then we'll stamp out the rest of the tree. One. I figure if we have the sentiments already stamped out, right, then it's just kind of like smooth sailing for the rest of it. So let's get them all stamped out. If we have to do any adjusting, we can. if you're not familiar with Stampin' with Friends, Friends is a group of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators that we get together several times in a month. Typically the first and the third Saturdays of every month, and we post a blog, each of us, based on that blog's theme. And this month the theme happens to be note cards. So I'm combining several different requirements to get us ready for the blog hop. So again, you don't have to take any notes, as I might be adjusting some things depending on how this set goes out um, to make it fit the desired impact that I'm looking for. Again, if there are any products that you see that I'm using this evening, please feel free to visit my online store. Let me tell you what my store information is. Hold on, let me turn that on. www.sweetsignatures.stampinup.net is my website, my online store. This will be the last month for host codes. Actually, this host code will expire in April. I believe I had said April 15th, but that's when the old host program is finished. So if you schedule a workshop with me, that means we would have to use our rewards before the 15th. So I'm going to close the host code about the 10th, I believe, of the month. So I need to make that little adjustment, okay? When you shop with me in my online store, any amount that you spend, you will receive a little thank you note from myself as a little bit of a thank you, because I do know you have your choice of demonstrator with whom which to shop and where to spend your hard-earned dollars. So I would appreciate if you did spend it with me. All right. So that's 3 of the 4 we've stamped out already. And again, I'm doing all 4 of them because I do want to make it a complete set. But if you wanted to make sure that all of your cards had the same sentiment, you very well could do the same. Okay? Yesterday I went for a acupuncture appointment, and at the local VA here, the Austin VA outpatient clinic, and there was another patient there with me, and you know, we're all veterans and we talk, and you know, she was telling me that she had just found out that she was diagnosed with cancer. And I think the beauty, one of the most amazing things that I appreciate about being a demonstrator is that, you know, I just reached over to her and I said, you know, I am a card maker, and how would you feel about me, you know, reaching out to you, you know, every so often and sending you a card just to show you that someone is thinking about you as you are struggling and going through your, you know, going through her battle. And she was appreciative of that, and so that's what I did. I didn't have any cards with me at the time because, of course, I didn't go in there for that. So what I ended up doing was she gave me her address, and first thing this today I put in the mail you know, a card for her. You know, I don't know whether she was single, whether she was married. I don't know any of that. I just do know that sometimes when you are struggling with something, just to receive a card in the mail, a phone call, or what have you, it's just a little bit more personal. And it can help lift your spirits. So that is one of the reasons I really, really like being a card maker. I can assess someone's needs immediately, have that conversation with them, and then, either if I have some on hand, I just make it happen. If not, then I will get your information and go ahead and send you out a card. One thing I always have is always have cards that are made. Um, Sometimes it's just a matter of uh, what am I looking for here? Putting a sentiment on the inside, something that's personal to myself and that person. Um, so it's always good to have that kind of skill. And the fact that I could potentially put a smile on someone's face, make them feel better, especially if they're not feeling well, is just something that is amazing to me. All right, so I'm going to heat set. I'm going to work on one of them first. Then I'm going to heat set all of them. And I double heat emboss. Sometimes I'll triple. But for speed tonight, I'm just going to do a double heat emboss. It just adds a little bit more dimension, texture to this sentiment. Just a little extra. But you got to work fast, okay? Because the powder melts very quickly and it sets. So if you're going to double or triple heat emboss, it does require to be a little bit of some prep work. And for you to be a little bit faster. Because you got to add the embossing powder while it's still hot, enough for it to stick again. All right. So we're done with this. Let's put our heat tool away because we're not going to be using that anymore. At least I don't think so. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email is flashing across the bottom of the screen. All right, so we're going to work with thank you for the little things. This is the first one we're going to do. I'm going to bring back out my stamp positioning tool because once we put that tree in place, we're not going to move it. All right, so we're going to leave it at the 4 1/4 mark. And I'm going to try to get this as low as possible. I'm not going to heat set it, so I'm not worried about that. And I know I'm going to have overlap, overhang, that's fine. I'm okay with that as well. Make sure that's straight and even. Okay, let's pick this up. All right, now before I do that, I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to grab my old olive, well, no, I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight ink pad. I'm sorry, this is crushed curry. Grab me and some scrap. I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight. Right? And then I guess I didn't let's try to see if we can blend that out just a little bit. Okay. Make sure this is aligned. All right, and so what I'm going to do, perfect. So I'm going to grab my copper clay ink pad. Somebody join me. Guys, when you join me, just please let me know who you are. I'd love to be able to speak with you. And I am using the Twisted in Time online exclusive bundle to create these note cards. Oh, that'll look nice. That'll look so pretty. Okay. Look at that already. Is that not beautiful as is? Oh my gosh, look at that. All right. So I am going to go ahead and, because I don't want to, well, let's put this out of the way right now. Let's finish the first one. We know that that's already lined up in a perfect position. So let's grab our stamp set again. And now I think I want this tree right here. This set of leaves. It's full. Okay, let's move that out of the way. And we already know that all of it is not going to wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to stamp this out before I do anything. Because I want to be able to see what it's supposed to look like, right? I'm going to grab me a little piece of scrap paper. This is the first time using this stamp set, so when I'm doing two-step stamping, I almost always will stamp the outline shape first and then do the detail. So let's see what this guy's looking like. So that's going to go like that. Okay, we could leave it like that, or we could leave it like that. I don't want to, but we could. And then we can go ahead and stamp that one. Where's I'm gonna go with Old Olive. There's Old Olive in the paper cardstock that I'm using. And again, right now I'm just laying it out to see what image I want to use. Do I want to layer it that way? Do I just want to leave it? What do I want to do? So, no, I just want to use that one. And that's why I try it out. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use it with Old Olive. This is all part of my design process. This is how I create a card. Okay? All right. Now I know that this is kind of how this is going to be. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And we've got our card. We've got our focal image already stamped out, and that's one of them. So let me go ahead and put this one together. Actually, let's go ahead and stamp the rest of them out because I know I like the design. And because I know I like the design, we're just going to stamp them all out. And that's how you create cards expeditiously. Oh, darn it. You know what I forgot? It's all right. It's all right. Got to remember to do that part, right? That's one. That's two. It's going to be at 4 1/4. It's about right there. Okay. I like how light that is, right? So when you make sure you stamp off quite a bit of it. And then when you add it, use a very light hand to apply it. Okay. You can always go darker. Once you've added that color with the blending, it can't take it back. Okay, number 2. So now, when I make cards, I generally don't make multiples of the same card. I just generally tend not to do that. And then last one. I got home a little bit late this evening. Late for me. So I wasn't able to prep as much and practice. Well, I don't generally practice, but I mean, pre-cut and do everything like that. I kind of did that about 5 minutes before I went live, got everything pretty much cut. I was having this conversation with a demonstrator at onstage, and she's like, I don't do cards. She's like, my videos are about 15-20 minutes and that's it. And I'm like, how do you manage that? You know? And I said, I'm one of those people that, when I watch videos, I'm like, I don't want to sit there for an hour, but I cannot for the life of me seem to get my own videos to be less than an hour. I can't. Anyway, so that's all four of them stamped out. And from here, it should go pretty quickly. Okay? The only thing that'll be left to do is to do whatever little embellishments that I'm going to do on the cards. All right. And while I am working, I just put them back on. It's when I'm putting them away for the remainder of the evening. That's when I will make sure they're all in the right place where they're supposed to be. All right. So now let's grab our green, our old olive here, and get our leaves stamped out. Okay. Get that out of the way. Get this lined up. And stamp away. That's one. And I'm going to wipe in between because I don't want any ink transfer. Okay. So when you give them as a gift set, that means unless you're making them for a customer that says, I just want thank you cards or something like that, it's nice if your set covers a variety of occasions. Okay. So I've got thank you in there. I've got Happy Easter. You make every day special. That's like a thinking of you or something like that. And then there's a thank you. A sweet friendship is good for the soul. I mean, how amazing is that? Okay, almost done. Okay, all right. So our main focal point is complete. Guys, we are almost done with creating this card, okay? Let me just go ahead and put some stuff out of the way, and then we can move on with the rest of the card. All right. Uh-oh. I swear. Oops. This is my little shimmer juice that I make. I gotta find something to put it in. And then all I'm gonna do is just swirl it around. And my cardstock will take on a little bit of a shimmer. I did a video on how to make your own shimmer mist. I will put that link in the I think I'll make it flash in the upper right hand corner so you'll be able to see it. It is really just glycerin and some shimmer mist, some shimmer paste. Okay. I'm still going to add some embellishments on here, but my whole focal image will have a little bit of a shimmer on it. And it'll dry pretty quick. Oops. All right. It's like Winka Stella on steroids here, guys. Winka Stella on steroids. I like that. All right. Let that go. Let's clean this up just a bit. Now we're going to mat these on our old olive card bases. And these again are cut a quarter inch bigger than the basic white. And a quarter inch bigger would take us to 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. I prefer to use liquid glue, so that is what I use. My preference for adhesive, you can use Stampin' Seal Plus, if that is your preference for adhesive. Okay. I learned a little tip the other day as far as liquid glue is concerned. I don't know why I seem not to have known that. But if you use liquid glue a lot like I do, one of the things you want to make sure that you do is to tap it down so that the actual adhesive falls back into and and you clear away the nozzle part, so you don't have to deal with clogging as much. Okay, that's 2. If you don't have a demonstrator, you guys, I would love to be your Stampin' Up demonstrator. The annual catalog is getting ready to be distributed. Our catalog mailing period begins, or actually began March 1st and ends this month, at the end of this month. And what that is for Stampin' Up does us as demonstrators this awesome favor, for lack of a better word. And what they will do is they will send out catalogs to our customers. That way we don't have to send them out, and it's a cost, but it's less than if we had to mail them individually through the U.S. Postal Service. So I prefer for my customers to get their catalogs that way. So my VIP customers, and to be a VIP customer with me, you would have to have shopped with me in the last 90 days. If you have done that, you automatically will receive your catalog. You're automatically on the list to receive a new catalog. Okay. All right, guys, so there you go. Our 4 focal images are done. Excuse me. So what I'm about to do now is to frustrate myself. And I'm going to frustrate myself by attempting to add some bows on here. I learned a trick today. Connie Stewart, my upline, I saw her do this. She said what she tends to do is she takes a little bit of a glue dot, kind of rolls it up into a little ball, kind of puts it where she needs it to be, and then that way it'll kind of hold the ribbon, twine, whatever in place and long enough for you to be able to tie a knot or a bow. So let's hope this works for me. So here we go. I leave a little bit of an extra tail here because I know I'm going to need that. And let's go. And I want a double like that and like that. And I am horrible at tying bows, y'all. So this is almost always like painful to watch me tie bows. It's very painful, I think, to try to watch me tie a bow on camera. I think so. Unless I use my faux bow. That one's not so bad. That actually does help. Huh. That is the easiest I have ever tied a bow. Like literally tied one, not use one of my faux bow strategies. Literally tied a bow. Oh my gosh. How amazing is that? Alright, so I'm just going to adjust my loops a little bit. I don't want too big of a loop. Alright, and trim that off. Look at that, you guys. I am so amazed. Right. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look how fast I did that. Oh my goodness. Huh. Alright, let's get these loops where we need them to be. Perfect. That's one. All right. That was an amazing tip. Huh. Nice. So let's see if, sometimes when you do it right the first time, but now let's see if we can get it right a second and a third and a fourth time. All right. Nice. I know, I'm not the bow thing. I tell you, for the next month, I'm going to use ribbon on everything that I make. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm a firm believer in if it's something that challenges you, the more you do it, the less challenging it should be. Fair enough on that? I think so. I don't know if it's the nails, I don't know what it is, but it's just challenging for me. I didn't leave a long enough tail on that side. So that's going to be part of my issue with this one. All right. Trying to find my tweezers here, which seems to have gone somewhere. There we go. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this end right here. Yeah. Reversible tweezers, or any kind of tweezers, are your third set of hands. There. Perfect. Don't be afraid to grab for them, reach for them. Oh, come on. I have a million and one snips around here, and I'm not grabbing the right ones. I try not to use my Stampin' Up snips on twine, ribbon, that kind of stuff. It's primary, or at least this one. Okay, that's 2. All right. Let's quickly try to get through the remaining 2. And let me show you the kind of bows I tend to do. And I can't do it on this one because, yes, I can. Yes, I can, and yes, I will. So you have some choices. All right. Always have to give yourself options. And then just put that guy right there. So this is how I tend to do bows. I am going to need my third set of hands anyway. So I just wrap myself a couple of loops. Oh, I saw another way too today. All right. Center them. Grab it with my tweezers right about the center. Grab another little piece. Make a bow, or try the form of a square knot. Put this guy right through there. Draw that string. And before I completely secure it, make sure it's centered. Grab another loop, finish off my knot. Oops, it's not going through. Finish off my knot. There we go. There we go. Look at how quick that one went. Look at how quick that bow was. I prefer my faux bows. They're just faster, they're easier. All right, that's number 2. Or number 3, sorry. Let's get this one done. And then all 4 of our focal images will be ready to be adhered. I seem to be running out of twine here. Oops. Gotta make sure the loop is going where it's supposed to go. Make sure it's centered. There we go. We had a great time at Onstage last week. Onstage, for those of you that may not know, is every year. That's where Stampin' Up! Does a recognition for performance, sales, that kind of recognition. It's also the time when Stampin' Up! Presents to its demonstrator force the upcoming annual catalog. We get to see the products live, firsthand, before anybody else gets to see them, only if you're on stage. And not all demonstrators get to see it firsthand. If you don't get to on stage, then you get to see the PDF version, but you don't get the actual catalog until you place, well, this year, until you place your first order. And then also, go. All right, so this is done. So now the next thing we're going to get ready to do is we are going to add dimensionals to this guy, or some foam tape. And then we're going to finish off our 4 cards. All right. I bought this foam tape, and it's great tape. My problem with it is it's so thick, right? Which generally might not be a bad thing, except when you're mailing cards, the extra thickness could be what separates your your card from being a one stamp card to needing 2 stamps. Because if it can't fit through that mail slot, you gotta pay the extra, right? That's one. So what do you think about our designs? I love it. It's fast, quick, easy. And once you set them up in your stamp positioning tool, in this case I used a MISTI. Oops. Once you set it up in your stamp positioning tool, it's just a matter of stamping and getting it, you know, assembly line kind of deal. You could even, if you're going to do the faux bow type of thing that I'm doing, you could even pre-make your bows. So you don't have to make them each individually like I just did. You could pre-make them all. You could also, well, that's about if you're going to make them into different colored card bases, pre-cut everything. I think for me tonight, part of what I didn't do, and it worked. I was afraid it would not, because you saw the leaves on the tree was pretty wide, but I got enough coverage so that you could actually see that it was the foliage. So I was afraid that, because of the narrowness, the 2.5 by 4, that it wouldn't create a good design, but it did. All right, one more, and then you guys will be done in almost an hour. Ugh, see? But once we get the design down, you guys, once you get your design down, these cards can go fairly quickly. All right. But either way, we did 4 note cards in just a little bit more than an hour, which is good. Base number 1. Base number 2. Card base number 3. And the beauty of the note cards is they're already folded, they're already scored. All right. Just go ahead. I'm going to put this a little bit off center. Well, no, I'm not. And there we go. Card number 1. Card number 2. Card number 3. And lastly, card number 4. Awesome. All right, one more thing that I am going to put on here, and then these cards will be completely finished, is we got to have a little bit of a bling, some bling, right? These are some sequins. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. I tend to observe the rule of 3 when I don't know whether it's the rule of 3 or the rule of odds and even. What do you think? Is it the rule of 3? One of my scrapbooking friend Val tells me it's the pretty much the triangular shape. And of course, a triangle is 3. All right, everybody, these are our 4 note cards that we created this evening, featuring the Twisted in Time bundle and the Stampin' Up! Basic white note cards. I also showed you how to create or to make your own card bases if it happens to be in a color. If you're wanting to start with a different colored card base, how to create your 3.5 by 5 note cards. So here are our cards that we created this evening. Again, I love them. And I did use all of the sentiments in the stamp set. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed these cards that we created tonight. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, like the video. Don't forget to also share and invite your friends to share the video, invite your friends to join us here on YouTube and help our channel grow. On that note, you guys, thanks for joining me again. I am Caron Bailey, your ATX Stampin' Up, ATX Stampin' Lady. independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Guys, have a great evening and happy stamping.